Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Mishra, and on my channel we do videos about all things budgeting and personal finance, and I also take you along my debt-free journey, the good and the inevitable bad. And you'll also see some other kind of like vlog style videos thrown into the mix. So today we're going to talk about how to recession-proof your finances. This will just be some tips that you can use to prepare for an upcoming recession. Disclaimer, this is just for educational purposes. I am not your financial advisor, but if you feel that you can seek your own professional advice. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you. So anyways, let's get into the video. A lot of times when there is a recession looming, there could be the possibility that you may be at a point where you might lose your job, or just the cost of living is increasing. So these are just some things that you can do to prepare if that situation were to happen. The very first thing is to build an emergency fund. So if you build up your savings, an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months, or even longer, if you feel more comfortable with that, if something were to happen during a recession like job loss, then you would at least have 3 to 6 months, and you wouldn't have to be so worried or so stressed. Obviously, it is a stressful thing. You'd have less worry knowing that you had this money put aside. And so having the 3 to 6 months set aside will give you the time to be out there looking for new jobs. And so 3 to 6 months is generally a good time, a turnover time, to be able to, look for, apply, interview, and potentially land another job. And just to say, these tips don't have to be done in this sequence or anything. You kind of do them as you feel. The second one kind of goes in line with potentially losing your job, is to update your resume. Quite possibly, you could even do a course or gain some skills that are transferable from one industry to the other. That way, you just have some things that are in your arsenal, just in case something were to happen. You have these skills that you could potentially use in a different industry. The third one, and this is always a good thing to do, no matter what time it is to pay down your high interest debt. Obviously, during a recession, especially if you have job loss or if the cost of living and inflation has gone up, it's harder to afford things, right? And so paying 20% interest or higher on debt it's not going to be the easiest thing to do or to maintain. So it would be great if you think something that is coming up, you have extra money, pay down some of that debt. And then that way you have a little bit more cash flow during that time, and you're not worrying about making debt payments or potentially not making your debt payments and having that affect your credit. So the fourth one is something that we should always do on a regular basis, is to look at our budget. What areas in our budget can we reduce our spending, or are there areas in our budget where we're spending a lot more that we don't need to be? So we kind of look, what is our bare bone expenses? Do we need to spend more than this? And just really evaluate what means the most to you at that time, and things that you could potentially cut back on. But the last thing is to generate some additional income. Get a side hustle. It's always a good time to get a little extra money so that you can put that towards your savings, or you can use that to pay off your debt, or you can just have something on the side that if for some reason, you were to lose your main job, you would still have some income coming in. So diversifying the ways that you have income coming in and having a side job, especially if it's just for a season, is always a good thing to have to generate some income and to accomplish some of these goals that you might have, like your emergency fund or paying off debt in a time when a recession could potentially be looming. Just as a little bonus tip, I guess, it would potentially be a good time to look at your investments. Not necessarily to withdraw them, but just to look at your risk profile, especially if you're older. It might be a good time to talk to your financial advisor, or if you do stuff on your own, if you're a DIY investor, just to look at your investments and your risk portfolio to see if your risk tolerance is in line or where you have your investments is in line with the time that you're in. So just to reevaluate, not necessarily to make any changes, but just to reevaluate and make sure that you're comfortable with where your investments lie. So these are just 5 simple tips that you can do that don't take too much effort on your part to help you prepare your finances if a recession or any other event were to kind of come along that could potentially derail some of the things that you might normally be doing. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please share it with a friend if you found it helpful, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.